Hello, my name is Eve, and I like to talk about disturbing books and recommend them to you. So, before we jump into the book that I want to talk about today, I just want to give myself a little plug. But I do have a podcast. It's called Morbidly Curious, where I am diving headfirst into the disturbing movie Iceberg, which has been interesting. I'm in tier 3 right now, which tier 3 contains a Serbian film and 120 Days of Sodom. So, if you are morbidly curious about that, you can check out that podcast. I will also be talking about like books, and I really want to create my own disturbing iceberg, but with books, because I've been doing some research and looking for one that like has books that I haven't already read that are like really fucking nitty gritty. And I've yet to find one. So I kind of want to create my own. You guys want to help me with that? I also have a Patreon where I'm doing raw reactions to some of the disturbing movies that I am watching, which has been a lot of fun. I recently posted a video about The Green Inferno and Cannibal Holocaust. Cannibal Holocaust was crazy, to say the least. That sounds interesting. Pop on over there. And I also have 2 TikTok accounts where I give more book recommendations. Eve Reads is a little bit more in depth, and then Confessions of the Mosses is superficial, and it's only for aesthetics and just for fun stuff. Talk about the book that I want to talk about today. I could go on and on about this book, dude, and I will, because I have pages and pages of notes. So, the book I'm going to be talking about today is a collection of short stories by some of my favorite authors. They're becoming my favorite authors. But the book is called Ensuring Your Place in Hell 2. And this is what it looks like. Beautiful, gorgeous, darling. The book is by Stephen Cooper, Erica Summers, and Otis Bateman. Iconic. Iconic. So the first story follows. I'm going to censor myself as much as I can. Usually I don't, but I know YouTube is very weird about their guidelines, which I have not read and I don't want to read. But I know a lot of people don't use certain words, so I guess I will try to avoid using certain words. I'm a very difficult person to censor, but the first story is called Put a Curse in You. You guys, this book was fucking crazy. We're following Carl, and he is taking advantage of a woman. After that encounter where he takes advantage of her, she goes home and we're following her now. And she's developing these headaches. She's throwing up. She's getting really sick. And she's hearing this voice in her head that's saying, if you don't get rid of this, you're going to die, essentially. If you don't pass this on to someone else, you're going to die. And the only way you can pass it on is through sexually assaulting someone, taking advantage of someone. You guys know what I mean, right? He passes it on to someone else, and it's just like a whole line. Like, we get so many people involved in this. Not only that, I don't want to spoil it, but I am going to say, because I've seen a lot of videos where people are dogging on books because people didn't put proper triggers in a book, which, at least in my opinion, if you're writing an extreme horror book, extreme horror should be trigger enough. Splatterpunk should be trigger enough. It's for anyone who has any problems with animals or triggers with children. This is not it, because we do get involved a dog, we do get involved a toddler, we do get involved an infant. So, just giving you guys a heads up. Story was wild because the only way you can pass on this curse is by taking advantage of someone. And as the curse like continues with people, we kind of get a deeper look to why this curse was developed in the first place and how it happened. And it was a crazy, crazy story. The next story is called Glory Hole, where we're following this piece of shit dad who's on like a family vacation with his family. His whole plan while he's like driving on this vacation is that he wants to cheat on his wife, and he's like also fantasizing about divorcing his wife. Before they get to the hotel, I think The wife spots, or while they're at the hotel, the wife spots that there is a condom in his wallet. And she's like, what the fuck? She's like, actually, you can get your own fucking room. And they're traveling with kids. So she's going to room with the kids and he's going to room by himself. Excuse the fuck out of me. I'm sorry, but if I had kids, first of all, scary. That would be terrifying. But second of all, if I had kids with a partner and I assumed that they were going to cheat on me during a family vacation, guess what, bitch? You're watching the kids. You're watching the kids. I'm getting my own hotel room. What the fuck do you mean? You can sleep in your own hotel room. Wouldn't be me. But anyway, she's like, I don't want you around me. You're going to sleep in your own hotel room, whatever. So when she checks into her room and gets the kids in their room, he kind of talks to the man who checked them into the hotel. And he's like, hey, do you guys have any like adult services around here? Do you have any adult fun? And the guy's like, um, yeah, there's like a place called Fill It Up, Filler Up, where there is a glory hole. After spending the day at the amusement park with his wife and his kids, he goes to a separate hotel room and he decides that he's going to take a chance with this fill it up, filler up glory hole. There's like two sides. One side you can pay, and then the other side is free. He puts the condom on and he goes to the side that you pay, and everything's going fine until his condom rips. And the person on the other side of the glory hole is like, hey, no glove, no love. I'm not doing this shit. And he's like, oh, fuck, I guess I'll go to the free side. So he goes to the free side. He goes to the free side. And the person on the free side is like peeling his peeling his manhood like a banana, essentially, like peeling the skin back. Wild. Wild. Called Buyer's Market. This one was so fascinating to me. Really fascinating. Jack is taking his son Danny to the buyer's market to get his own personal woman. Essentially, there is a femcel law which permits ownership of a female once the male turns 16. And so this story is basically following Danny as he is picking out his first female to be his own. And there's also an operation that this female has to partake in after a little bit, where the female essentially gets her arms and her legs cut off. So it's just kind of like a tool for the man to get his pleasures. There is a lot of graphic detail about the tortures that Jack, Danny's father, he has his own female, and her name is Wendy, I think. And he fucked her up, dude. Like, he did a number on her. As soon as Jack and Danny pick out the new female, things get a little rocky because we think that Danny is apprehensive about this whole thing. Things get really weird. That was a really good story. The story is Golden Compass Seconds. If you've read Ensuring Your Place in Hell, the first one, you know what the Golden Compass is. If you haven't read Ensuring Your Place in Hell, the first one, go do that. Go run and do that real quick. So, Marcus and Alex are corporate men, your usual like finance bros, and they're finally getting access into the Golden Compass where anything goes. We already know this. The Golden Compass is like a free for all. You can eat poo, you can drink pee, you can drink blood, you can there's a lot going on. So they have a great time at the Golden Compass. They're very much into that. And so when they go their separate ways, Alex wants to recreate what he experienced at the Golden Compass. And we find out that Alex wants to recreate what happened at the Compass with the girls that he has locked up in his basement. It does not go well. It gets really fucking disgusting. Next story is called Necromatch. This one was also very interesting to me. It's like consensual ethical necrophilia, which, if you guys have watched me on TikTok Live, I have talked about consensual ethical necrophilia as well as consensual ethical cannibalism. We talk about a lot of weird things on live. So if you're ever on TikTok and you see me go live, pop in, say hello. We're following Jess and Rebecca, and they're going to Necromatch. And this is Jess's first time, but Rebecca has been here before. They consult with one of the people, and Jess is signed up for consensual necrophilia. So she puts herself into this database system. She matches with someone, she doesn't know who. They don't have contact while she's alive. But what happens is, as soon as she is dead, her necromatch is essentially contacted and given free range to do whatever they want with the dead body for 72 hours, I think. And they go in gruesome detail about what this man does with Jess's body. Also, not to give it away, but I think Jess was also pregnant when she passed. It was wild. It was wild. And so the last story that I'm going to be talking about is called Day at the Zoo. This one was so vulgar. This was so wild. So, a family of 5 went a trip to a new like zoo enclosure, and it's a primate enclosure. And so they all go to the primate enclosure and things go wrong. The primates get into like the safe zone where the humans are, and they just start wreaking havoc. Like the family of 5 has like an infant, and one of the primates takes the infant and proceeds to like shove the infant up her hoo-ha until its skull breaks. There's a lot of being taken advantage of by primates. There's just a lot of stuff. So please check trigger warnings. I mean, I feel like I've given you guys a good amount of trigger warnings, but please check even more trigger warnings because I did not even touch on all of them, I feel like. So if this sounds like an interesting book, please read it. It was so much fun. And please check out my TikTok, my podcast, my Patreon, all that good stuff. And I hope everyone has a great day.